Hi, welcome back to another episode of Spit or Swallow with your favorite host, Hausa Chocolate. Today is a special day as per usual. And with me, I have a very special guest, Nengi Adoki.
Hi,
Right? I said that
hi.
right.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's my
Thanks for being
pleasure.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Finally.
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 We're
So,
here.
yeah. So today we're going to be talking about, going from the streets to the sheets and maybe back, but all the drama and all the messiness that, happens in between. Um, Before we get into it, spit or swallow.
Spit.
Why?
Hygiene, man. It's a thing.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Makes sense.
It is. Unless, never mind, it is.
Unless what? Unless what? I mean, to be honest, I think the most recurring answer is like, unless like you know what he's been eating and da 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 da. I feel like for me, taste is a huge thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There are a lot of things with the unless. So I thought it was going to be too complicated. So I'm just like, you know what? Unless I love you.
True. That's one of the things.
Yeah.
That's a huge.
Yeah.
Not me flashing like that's a huge thing. But even with that, so even if I love you, if it tastes like battery acid,
Exactly.
going out, it's like,
Hygiene.
what did you
There are too many
today?
things.
Yeah.
So just be on the safe side.
I've also noticed, I've been ranting recently about smokers and how their juice actually tastes really nasty. Like, yeah, sorry to all the smokers, but it does. Especially cigarettes. I think cigarettes are even worse because that shit translates right into like.
Are you serious?
It does.
I'm just interested in knowing what the sample size was here.
I mean, and I googled it as well, and Google actually agrees with me. But it does translate tobacco, and then if we're talking about things translating, I think weed as well. Weed breath is. I'll pick cigarette breath over weed breath. Yeah, it does. It's
so
really
interesting.
It's very bitter tasting.
Yeah. It's cigarette has like a very
distinct.
Yeah, it's very distinct. But I find that when it's like they're in like cologne, like
yes, no,
like,
I love it. So I love like cigarettes and AC and cologne in the room. But in the bodily fluids, it just has a different that process. Is just
again. I need to know that sample size, the number of men. How many were smoking?
How many I'd say said, but so back. I also wonder if it translates for women as well. If men can actually tell. I know breath, but like down there, I wonder if they would.
Pineapples.
The other thing is, egusi soup is better, but that shit.
Please tell me about this egusi thing. I've been neglecting it lately.
More flavorful, more spices.
Okay.
There's pepper in there.
Pepper.
Yes, it osmosizes well. Although even then, the studies really show. Does it really? Can you really? If you eat pineapples now, it's not going to change. If something is going on in there, something is going on in there.
Fair enough.
I think you just drink more water.
Again, exactly.
And all of
hygiene goes both ways.
just drink more water.
Yeah.
We still haven't dived into
the
topic. So from the streets to the sheets and often back. Question.
Okay.
What would you say is like the shortest time you've met somebody in the streets and then it translates it to you going to the sheets?
Why?
How many minutes?
What's this podcast called?
It's called Spit or Swallow.
Exactly. Why are we here?
That's why we're here.
Fair. Shortest time. Do I have to be honest?
Yes. 15 minutes.
Shortest time. I would say 12 hours.
12 hours.
Yeah.
That's a whole romance. That's a whole.
Yeah. Not really. Not quite. Thank you for this podcast. Let me just open someone's.
We love it. Yes, you can say anything here.
Yeah, because so you say romance and I say research.
So no, I don't mean rom.
Yeah, research. 12 hours. You said shortest time, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, when you said 12 hours, I meant 12 hours was a long time in terms of you can fall in love and fall out of love.
Exactly. So I wish it was falling in and out of love. What I'm trying to say was research, not romance. And that's that.
And then what was the conclusion of the study?
The conclusion of the study. is that you need to beware of weddings in Lagos, especially the ones that starts in the morning and it will now end
by midnight.
like midnight. That's
3
kind of
that's
3
3 a.m.
5 a.m. You know, children of darkness, beware.
Facts. Because there was one particular wedding. I won't even say the time. I won't even say the time that I attended because people add 1 + 1 = 2. But that's when I realized that weddings were really crazy. Like, people scheming. I might have been part of the scheming. Shit. Like it was actually fucking crazy what was going on. And I'm just like the couple and those ones are doing their thing. It's the people around.
Everything. It's just
married people coming to whisper things into your ears.
Yeah, people with
stuff.
girlfriends dragging that same person.
I'm dead. Dragging what? Why does it sound like you're like, why are you dragging your boyfriend from me? He's mine for now. Like right now, he belongs to me.
No, it's just the other way around. So basically, like you said, in weddings, you meet all kinds of people. Like you said, married people, people with girlfriends, people with boyfriends, people dating themselves and keeping it private. Like, I don't know, all kinds of people, you name it, right? So you have to ensure that you're doing research during that time. There's a is it caveat like whatever. Don't fall in love during those 12 hours. That's the only thing I have to say. Just do the research. Say yes, no. Make sure that you have all the information you need, especially third time I'm saying hygiene.
Whoa.
And then
there's a story there. She's like, maybe not.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, but I think after that, I was convinced that I didn't want to spend a lot of time at Nigerian weddings like that. I mean, I saw enough.
I find them really stressful, but it's more of like, I like being comfortable. I'm always comfortable.
Yeah.
But then I should be gilly. I always think I like 1 hour is off my head.
Yeah, it's hot.
Makeup, all of that stuff.
Exactly.
And it just gets. I mean, but you Lagos people try because you guys be going back to back to back to back.
Listen, let me tell you something, and that's why mine was even extra traumatic. Like, I'm not even a wedding girly. I went to this one, and then 12 hours time, I was back on the street.
Fair enough. Speaking of doing research, right? Would you have you ever cheated before in a relationship?
Wow.
I'm just bringing them out
again. Listen, for everyone who doesn't know this, we had a conversation before the camera started rolling. Yes, your turn to collect the dragging now. Hausa Chocolate told me that this was gonna be fun.
Very fun and light. It's very light.
What was that question you just asked?
I said, have you cheated in a relationship?
You want me to go on a national podcast?
Soon to be international.
Everybody, see, soon to be, which means it takes for me.
I mean, no, you don't have to say when. Now, your first relationship might have been when you were 15.
So it's so funny, right? And I'm going to be very candid about this. Like me and this ex have had many discussions about this. Like, was it or was it not? Right?
Were you on a break?
So exactly. So I don't want to say a break, and I'm so thankful for where I'm at right now. Right, in my life, I've learned how to maintain boundaries. Right, so because oftentimes, two people, consenting adults are in a relationship. One person wants to be in the relationship, the other person doesn't want to, and then it's like who gets to say no, and it's done. Right, so I think the approach there was not knowing where to draw those lines. So things happen, so now it's a question of, okay, were we like dating or were we not? But for me, because a mini confessional had to happen, I think it might have been. I'm leaning more to the...
Oh, so you didn't plan to tell them, but then you guys were on a...
Oh, no, I planned to. We planned to. We were, again, so see what I mean in terms of like why it is complex in a sense. But for me, if you have to like sit someone down and be like, hey, I did this, then perhaps cheating has
Fair enough.
happened.
Fair enough. Okay, so why I was
Yeah.
asking was, when we're talking about doing research and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's certain. So I always say I would never cheat on. Never say never, but I would never
Mm-hmm.
cheat on like my partner if we have agreed.
Yeah.
Me and monogamy. But anyway, even if
Yeah.
we have agreed, we have
Mm-hmm.
our rules. I wouldn't necessarily, break the
Yeah.
agreements I
The
have with my
agreement.
person.
Yeah.
But to help somebody else in their own agreement break it, I
Mm.
may do that. It's not necessarily that I want to do it, but I think that I've come to realize I'm very biased when if the person was my ex or you were like one of my
Yeah.
faves or something, then you have a person. It's not really my business because this is what I want. So research or no research, I feel like if I'm at a wedding or
Yeah.
whatever and I see this person and I
Uh-huh.
spec and the vibes are just vibing, it's like, you know what? I don't even want to know.
Oh
Let's just
wow.
do what we want to do. Okay, minus marriage. I think marriage is still my line. I don't want to.
Exactly.
Nah. But
Exactly.
when people say, "Oh, it's a relationship,"
Yeah,
you
fair,
know,
fair.
yeah.
And fair enough. I even
Don't do
understand
it.
those lines.
They pour acid on you. Yeah. Please.
Please, she didn't tell you. I come co-sign.
I mean, but to be honest, I mean, I remember one of my first viral tweets ever was "Seize the Bay." The one
Right.
about I was like, yeah, don't wait for your crush to break up, scatter the relationship, take what's yours.
Everything.
So me,
Collect.
I feel like I joke about it, but low key, like even when it comes to like movies, and there's like there's like maybe the happy but boring marriage, and there's one person and the
Yeah.
passion is passioning, and they want
Yeah.
to. I'm like, yes, leave your wife, follow her. Like, so I like toxic love just a little
This is
too
hilarious. I'm so sorry. I'm remember. So I don't know if you've seen it, but like I create the show called The Most
much.
Toasted
Girl,
Girl.
yeah, I watched
So
it
it kind of like talks about this thing, and there's a scene where she's like, if someone is with your husband to be or something, she like whispers, she's like, take him,
like bro, take it, like. This life is too short to be with. I mean, but some people choose later in life. They do choose the calm, peaceful.
Yeah.
I like the passion. I think I'm just like, I love to feel things. I always say I like when someone makes my neurons fire and it just feels so meant to be and this connection and stuff. But that's why, like, if there's a marriage, if there are kids, I don't really want to be that person.
Yeah.
But I tell you, are still all of us are still in the streets. Dog eat dog.
You know what? She's saying everything that I feel like, I would have been saying to myself in my head if I was trying to like justify cheating.
But yeah, so I mean, so I feel like in that situation, I would not. Oh, true. You can spit that to cheese on your person and be like, well,
that's
actually,
that's what I'm saying.
Well, actually, I'm just talking about from
like
my own point of view. That's my own line. I feel like that's my own line of like toxicity where I'm like, yeah, I own that. Like I won't cheat. I won't cheat on my person.
Yeah.
But if you were with my former bae, and it came for Christmas.
See, it has to be. For me, it's a bit more complex. For my bae, and he came for Christmas.
And now let me rent him for the time being. He's going to go back to you. Me, I'm not even going to be like, I want him to love me and stuff. Just for the physical one.
This is fair.
You get like you even know.
It's up to
bae
to decide whether he wants to be a cheat.
Unfortunately, bae is always going to want to be a cheat because niggas
or not.
I don't trust them. I don't trust. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Well, this is so light right now.
It's
going in.
I don't trust. Okay, let me not say I don't trust any man.
Uh-huh.
But to be honest, what man is going to say no to me? But I just I feel like a lot of times, most times in any of those situations, like
right.
It was never really. I've never been in a situation where a man is like, no, I don't want to. It's always me being the no. But what about your?
Right.
So I feel like if the onus is on me, and I'm like, what is onus is? It was a good one, no. So please, let's have it.
Yeah.
Then you can go home.
It depends.
I'm very unproblematic. If I'm the other woman in your relationship,
word.
Such a joke.
She's very unproblematic, guys. Y'all heard it here.
I was going to say about
first.
the other woman in your relationship. You even know, I never knew I exist, but I won't even be another woman. It's just like in one time, just
a light peck,
just a little refresher of so yeah, this thing's still sweet.
Please, who is the audience here? Like, I want to know the demographics.
This is one of those like. Don't do as I do, or don't even listen to me. This is just me talking about. But
please, that's why you have the mic.
Don't listen. No, when it's time for me to give like good advice about consent, all of those kind of things. But
okay, so how are you gonna give good advice to ex-bae in that situation?
Ex-bae,
yeah.
if it's my ex-babe, the
Uh-huh.
advice I would be giving him would be different because I know my intentions and I know that my intention is not to really hurt his relationship. So, it's just light. It's just a little white, crack.
Just a little
Just
stain,
a little
just a little
stain, just a
small
little stain.
stain
But
on the
please be
white
faithful to your
to your partners.
to your
Yeah,
partners, to your
exactly.
companions.
I want.
Stick to your agreement. But you know how men always say, we have an understanding. Okay. Okay. Since you understand yourselves, no problem.
It is insane the number of times I met guys who would tell me that they have
understanding
understandings
with
with
their
their, and then
wives.
next thing you know, you're being summoned by a third or fourth,
Someone come to you as a
fifth
woman.
party.
I just feel like we still don't have as much power as we should have. And so that's why I said, if a man is saying me and my wife, I'm like, is it you and your wife or is it you? Is she doing it because she doesn't want to lose her marriage?
Exactly.
And you know when marriages end, when things happen, like
Yeah.
what you were saying earlier now, if somebody's wife should die and he marries her best friend after 2 months, you say, hey, yeah, he needed help to take care of the children.
Yeah, I'm already picturing the end
Do you
of that
understand?
conversation. Yeah,
But then,
sometimes, yeah.
if it is flipped now,
Yeah,
she
it's
kills him.
harder.
She's a this, she's that. How can you just your husband's body is not even cold in the ground? Like we just be getting so it's like, are we actually free? So we actually have to fight like twice as hard to even
Right.
like it's even from the tiny things like when you're talking about bodies, all this stupid conversation, you see a guy saying they'll ask him, oh, can you see what's too high of a body count? So you say 3. Oh. Then it's like, but then they'll be like, oh, but then he'll say, but yesterday I slept before people, I went to the club, I came back. It's like the double standards are actually
Yeah.
so fucking insane. The rules
Yeah.
are just not the same. And so
Yeah, it makes it more complex when you're trying to, I guess, make a decision about the sheets.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I just feel like, I just need women to have more power and more
Yeah.
choices and not just because you even with like faking orgasms, there's just so much that is pandering to the male gaze and the male ego and the
Right,
male this and
right.
that. So I think that you know what we say about having difficult conversations or doing the work and stuff. A lot of women also don't want to do work. It's like, what, let me just do what is easy, and let me just
Yeah.
marry this one. Then I'll bring my best friend and I'll be
Yeah.
fucking her, and that's the end of the story. The same way men too will justify,
Jeez.
you know what, I want children, I want this, I want that. Then let me fly out the Russian babe to my hotel, and and for them that's their own best of both
Again,
worlds.
what part of Lagos is
Well, people, well,
Where
Abuja,
is-
sure, they're flying Russian babes into Abuja easy. Like
what
that
part
one is
of
that they're flying babes easy. Like they've left Nigerian Insta buddies or internet, and those ones, I guess, last sometimes those ones are kind of cheaper ish. Maybe one time billing, collect your 5,000
again
and come.
sample? I need
So
the card,
so
the red
yeah,
card.
it's just the streets are wild, but
Mhm.
people are just not ready to be as radically honest as they
Yeah,
should be.
I think that yeah, like you said, honesty is really a great part of how people can sort of like nurture how whatever kind of relationship like they want
Mhm.
to from the streets.
Yeah.
Honesty, readiness, communication, all of those things.
But
Yeah,
unfortunately,
for sure.
because it's dyadic, like really, a lot of these things are easier in the abstract and when we explain it, but dynamics
Yeah.
are really different.
Exactly,
And
because you and I, we've even gone through like a lot of scenarios that at
yeah.
best, like, you can only speak to unless there's just certain like nuance and who's there, like what's nurture like for them.
And
Like,
and some people say yes, as a man, I want multiple partners, but I would die if my wife should fuck anybody else, and I don't want to change that.
Right.
And so they will just keep cheating or just keep doing whatever.
And there's that too.
Yeah, so it's not. That's another thing. It's like I
Mhm.
can be open and I can want all of these things, but I know that my own ego and my heart can't take the other person doing that.
Right.
And am I willing to navigate and do the work to do that? Some people
and
don't
show
want
up,
to.
yes, and be
Exactly,
present and all of
exactly.
those
So
things. Yeah.
So yeah, the moral of the story is the streets still gonna be streeting. They're still gonna be streeting.
I think the streets are always going to be there.
They're always gonna be streets.
I think again, it's up to every single person how they want to approach that, what's the word? That process from that to coitus.
Don't fucking kill me. I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back because retention is a whole other conversation, bro.
Yeah.
From the streets to the sheets. Back
People have
also.
rosters, man. I've heard of
Standard,
rosters. So standard practice. See,
I mean,
again,
when you're in this, I feel like if you're not in a monogamous thing with one person, like okay, you're saying boyfriend, girlfriend, this is what we're doing.
right.
when you're outside, why do you have one
Yeah.
when you can have multiple?
When you can have all
Four. Or
four.
or more.
More.
For me, try perfect is always like 2.5. Yeah.
Two and a half.
So like one, yeah,
What is half?
half is like, maybe I see you once a month, Then you always have now your wild card that, this person just landed around. How far? Let's see. Then, the ones in different countries type thing. But yeah, it shouldn't just be like.
There should be a book about how to maintain your roster.
There shouldn't really be a time where there's nobody fucking at all. Like, damn.
Yeah, no low dips.
Yeah, do you get like even if two, let the half still be there.
Want to keep it.
And if all else fails, hurricane toys day for you. I sell sex toys, by the way. So
oh wow! I mean, that was a brilliant plug. Yeah. Excuse me. Teach me, please. Thank
you so much.
Yeah,
for
thank
being
you.
Here.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Time,
I like how we talked about the streets, talk about we even like women power, yo.
Shout out to all the women. Shout out to all the women. They're gonna be so. The men are gonna be salty when they listen to it. That's one thing. I need to check my bias because a lot of times, when I'm talking about the streets, and that's why I said a lot of times to explain. I explain my theories or experiences from a heterosexual lens because I primarily deal with men.
Right.
But then I act as if women who are not serving hot breakfast on the streets, women who are having 3 boyfriends, people are marrying. Women are marrying when they have boyfriends. They're marrying somebody else 1 month later and stuff. So
again,
it really is for everyone.
So and that's why I kept saying that. Again, it comes. It sort of like depends on who is in it, like what their biases are, like their experiences, etc., because we can all stay here and like and talk about what has happened.
Not to now mention people who are like full blown like. They only do like lesbian relationships. So imagine like a lesbian threesome type situation, or just like, I don't know how the gay guys do it. Are they more jealous? Are they less jealous? This is why I keep telling you guys, come on here and explain to us so that we don't just be assuming and we don't be speaking for all of you.
Exactly.
Tell me the tea. Tell me when you found your nigga with his other nigga and then the other nigga that you were sucking his dick. Like, I want to hear all of this. Yes. Anyway.
I'm here, like, come on, give her the tea, please.
Thank you for coming. Follow me on Instagram at Hausa Chocolate. Follow the podcast, Spit or Swallow Pod. Follow the podcast on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at Spit or Swallow Podcast. Find us on TikTok, Spit or Swallow Pod. Find us on Twitter, SOS Pod Official. Find Nengers on Insta.
The Nengers. Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is.
Facebook, the Nengers. Nengers.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.